Good morning, everyone. This is Servium calling. My name is Steve Dawes, and welcome to the next in our series of INOOT webinars. I need one of those. We're kicking part 2 of season 3 off today. So thank you for joining. As usual, we're using Zoom to present our webinar. And the whole purpose of our webinars is to inform you, our customers, allow you to make informed decisions, create great experiences, talk about groundbreaking, disruptive technology. And today we're joined by HP. So I'd also like to welcome Simon Barlow from HP. Good morning, Simon.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Thanks for taking the time out today. So a little bit different today. We are doing a prize draw at the end, as you're probably all aware. So we're using some groundbreaking technology for that as well. So I'll leave you in anticipation for that later. We are recording the webinar, so you'll be able to share it with your colleagues, and we will be publishing it on our YouTube channel as well. If you can take questions and answers, so I always like to put the co-presenters on the spot, so feel free to use the Q&A box to put questions anonymously to Simon. As well, and there'll be a poll at the end. So today, Friday, the 29th of May, let's have a look back in history and see what happened on this day. 1917, John F. Kennedy, 35th US president, was born in Brookline, Massachusetts. In 1967, Noel Gallagher from Oasis was born in Manchester. Interesting one here, 1987, Michael Jackson attempted to buy the Elephant Man's remains. What do you want to do with John Merrick? Beggars belief. 1990, Boris Yeltsin was elected as the president of the Russian Republic. And 1999, the Space Shuttle Discovery completed its first docking with the International Space Station. So quite relevant to what Elon Musk is doing at the moment. But more importantly, today is all about INOOT. So let's get the proceedings underway. So a bit of background on Servium, who we are, what we're all about. And as I mentioned before, we're all about creating great experiences for you, our customers. We put you at the center of everything we do. We have exceptional account management. We're very responsive. We go that extra mile with all our customers. And our customer satisfaction surveys that we do every year are really, really great feedback from those. Our approach is very much working with you through the life cycle of any project, no matter how small, how large, from the strategy, design, implementation, support, and probably the most important part for me is the review part. Let's see what we've done, how we deliver it on time, within expectation, within budget, etc., etc. And we use our service ecosystem with partners like HP and so on to deliver and give access to you, our customers, a great breadth, depth, scale of capabilities. And I think the key thing for me is we're absolutely transparent on how we engage with our partners. And I think that makes us unique in the marketplace as well. So a whole raft of services that we can offer. So I encourage you to speak to your account manager or go and view one of our previous INOOT webinars where I went in a little bit more depth about our services ecosystem. So when we look at our Pathfinder and where this particular focus is today, it's very much around security because HP have a very unique proposition around some of their devices, which Simon's going to talk about. And I think, Simon, also there's some announcements the other day that are hot off the press that you're going to tell our customers about as well.
Yeah, there's a few new security measures that we announced on the 25th, which I'm going to just tease a little bit today, as well as our HP security stack. So thank you very much, Steve. And good morning. And it's a pleasure to be back once more and to guide everyone through our HP security stack proposition that we have within our commercial lineup. So the way the world is fundamentally changing, and we were all thrusted into this unique way of working where over 48% of the UK are now working from home, and there is a huge demand for PCs in general. And we've actually done a few studies around just how people are trying to adapt to this new way of working. And what's quite interesting is that over 59% of everyone who's working from home are actually embracing that, and they have a desire to want to work more remotely after COVID-19. I, for one, I'm loving working from home. At the minute, my commute is literally now 20 steps up my stairs, and I'm enjoying actually having virtual meetings at the minute. It's not the same as being face to face, but I still have that personal interaction. And when we see from building remote relationships, over 45% of all planned meetings are now virtual. What's really interesting is that over 50% of the individuals who are working from home are not set up to actually be working remotely. And that could be the fact of not having the proper equipment, or even having monitors or external keyboards and mice. However, being that there is a huge increase in PCs, not everyone is actually purchasing commercial devices. And this actually increases the security threats of today. When we saw in 2019, over 600,000 devices were actually infected from a firmware level. This is from a BIOS, your foundations of your PC. And the only way of removing a firmware level attack is actually by removing the motherboard. This is actually quite costly and timely from a repair point of view. However, when we look at phishing attacks, there is a massive increase in COVID-19 phishing attacks, over 667%. Now, we're constantly using emails, and what the phishing attacks are actually doing is being a little bit creative around how they approach people. Everyone is opening their emails all the time and not expecting to have an attack come through this point. And this is where we're seeing a huge increase in ransomware. And then when we look at malware attacks, and these are viruses or Trojan horses, we're actually seeing over 350 unique new malware variants every single day. That's one every 4.2 seconds. And having something as fundamental as an antivirus just simply doesn't cut it anymore. If you think of your PC as your castle and you just have antivirus, you're just having a moat around your castle. This could be easily penetrable, as traditional antiviruses require updates every single day for you to be protected. And what HP wants to do is actually give you more defenses, more lines of defense for you and your castle to be able to be protected against those unique attacks. So at HP, we actually have a three-prong approach for our resilience. And this is for us to be able to protect your PC. We want to give you the fundamentals to protect your PC, whether or not you're working from home, in the office, or on the go. If we're able to protect your PC, we need to be able to detect to see whether or not a change is being made, whether or not that's from a BIOS attack or whether or not that's within the operating system. We want to make sure that if we are able to detect a change is being made, we need to be able to recover you back to a known state where everything is still secure. And if we're recovering you in a timely manner, we need to then be able to reprotect you again. And these three key pillars for HP is what we build upon our security. And these are both hardware enforced security and also software driven as well. But when it comes to security, HP actually has a record when it comes to then securing the endpoint. And we were first in 2004 to actually have a PC with the first certified TPM chip. If we go all the way through to 2011, we're working with NIST to create leadership in BIOS level security. 2013 all the way through to 2015, we then started to create what we class as our self-hidden BIOS. We started this off in PC, and we actually then started to actually integrate that within our enterprise level print. Printers are still connected to your network, and these are one area that people forget to actually be a breaching level attacks. Everything is created on a network. You can have the most secure firewall known to man, but if you have a small, weak in your chain, whether or not that'll be your printers, this can actually be vulnerable to a malware attack and then giving you access into your business. So for the last nearly 20 years now, HP has been taking security really seriously, and we invest more than I think ever before, and we actually build all of our security in-house. But when we look at then security measures, like I said, we actually are using unique NIST standards. So whether or not it's BIOS protections or firmware resilience, not only do we look at the expectations that the NIST provides, but we want to make sure that we exceed those as well. The beautiful thing with all of our security measures is that we actually create what we class as a white paper. And these white papers are deep level reads around how our security works. And these are all available for you to download from our HP Sales Central website. If you don't have access to our Sales Central website, then you can go to your Servium account manager to arrange access to it. But like I said, all of our security is built in-house. We have one of 4 HP labs in the world in Bristol, and we've just moved into our new office. In here, we actually have our demo area. And this is designed for research and collaboration, and where we can actually bring in whether or not it's our partners or customers, and we can actually show in real time the devastating effects of what malware can actually have to your business and your PC. We can actually show you in real time how HP is actually able to defend those against those attacks. So when we come out of this new normal and we're able to go back into the office again, I would love to see more people actually take in the opportunity to see how we're able to defend and help with your business. However, let's talk about our security stack. And this is available in all of our workstations or mobile workstations, our desktops, our all-in-ones, our Elite PCs, and even our ProBook range. However, we do have a scaling level of security found within our ProBooks and our Elite books, but I just wanted to give you a brief overview of how our security stack works and indicate a few of these. So what we have is our core is what we class as our endpoint security controller. This controls everything that we have that works below the operating system. So whether or not it will be our self-healing BIOS or our spare keys to help you get back into Windows, or even for self-encrypting drives, these are based on our foundations. As we then start going into our OS, we want to make sure that we're able to defend against your device. So whether or not that will be recovering you back to a point of known secureness, whether or not that will be with Sure Recover, or whether or not we're trying to reactivate your firewall or antivirus with Sure Run. We want to protect your identity. So we have a multi-factor authentication, which can be found on any Intel-based laptops. And then we also want to protect your data as well. So whether or not that will be against prying eyes with our HP SureView, or whether or not it's then visiting websites or making sure that any USB keys get placed in, that we want to make sure that you're secure as well. So we do have huge depth and breadth when it comes to our security measures. And the beautiful thing with our security measures is that all of these are actually built into the PC. There isn't a security or a subscription that we have in play with these. These are all baked into our PC. So like I said, our endpoint security controller, this is something that makes HP quite unique. This is a physical chip that's isolated actually on the motherboard. It's third-party certified to be cryptographically secured. So what does that mean? It means that if someone actually was to find this particular chip, remove it from your PC, they're unable to read it. And this holds 4 of our most secure hardware security, both Sure Start, Sure Run, and Sure Recover. And I'll be covering off a few of these in very light detail. As our security stack overview, these are all our 6 layers of security. So whether or not, like I said, it's from our self-healing BIOS, which is still the world's first and only self-healing BIOS and protects you against that firmware level attack, all the way through to making sure that we're able to protect you against tomorrow's threats today with our deep learning AI. And we've been partnering with a company called Deep Instinct on this. And this is now available on our latest generation of EliteBooks and ProBook devices. So in real brief with Sure Start, this is how it works. So every time that you turn on one of our ProBooks with Sure Start, or whether or not it's an EliteBook, you'll always see it's protected by HP Sure Start before you boot. And this is making sure that on the endpoint security controller, it compares it against your boot drive to make sure that it's a genuine foundation to your PC. Even if the most minute level of data is changed, it will purge the entire boot drive. This will then reload on its golden version before any information is placed onto the CPU, and that's even before you boot into Windows. This can take anywhere between 10 seconds and 60 seconds for you to be able to do this. And it does it all seamlessly in the background. Now, what we do with Sure Start Gen 5 is actually what we have is runtime intrusion process. So that means that even if you are running in Windows and someone does change the BIOS in any particular way, when you next restart or reboot your PC, it's going to check it again and making sure that your foundations are completely secure. Because of this, we're actually the only OEM to be mentioned in the National Cybersecurity Center. The current security guidance advice is 1809. We are now into 1903, and in some cases 1909. However, this is still the latest security guidance from the National Cybersecurity Center. And it actually does then recommend that if you have a firmware integrated and recovery with HP Sure Start, it's something that we actually quite provide and recommend that you take. We also then have our manageability integration kit, which allows you to then make sure that if you are a managed IT system, that you can create policies and roll out changes and deployments when it comes to our security stack remotely. SureClick is unique. We've been working with a company called Bromium, and Bromium we acquired earlier this year and are now part of HP. And what's really interesting is that 2 out of 3 successful network penetrations are actually coming from malicious email attachments, whether or not that will be in Word or Excel. And especially if you are checking your emails all the time, this is something that you don't actually think about needing to be secure. So I actually have a demo here. And what this will show is that I've been given a CV. Now, 78% of us will ignore our security policies because we feel that they're too strict. So I'll actually, even though it says it might contain malware, I'll continue to read. And everything looks fine on the surface until it's not. And what will pop up is WannaCry. Now, WannaCry is a very malicious ransomware. And you'll see that the countdown timers are actually counting down. You can't get rid of this box. Now, it thinks that it's infected my PC, but it hasn't. The beautiful thing with our SureClick secure view is that it's opening it in a virtual machine. So even if you do then get hit by a ransomware attack, it has no access into your PC at all, regardless of what it thinks. And you can save these attachments, and with SureClick Pro, you can actually edit these PDFs, or whether or not it's a Word file, and you can still save it, and it will still be in its secure view. Only when you remove that protection will it then have true access into your PC. And the beautiful thing with SureClick is that you can actually have it with a browser as well, and that protects you against or with Chrome, Chromium, Edge, and Internet Explorer as well. So you can make sure that not only is your attachment safe, but also the browsers that you're using are completely safe as well. We have SureSense, and SureSense is very unique, and this is harnessing deep learning AI, which has never really been seen before in commercial PCs. And this is, again, built into our value proposition with our EliteBook and ProBook devices. And I'm going to quickly go through a demo that shows 50 of the most malicious malwares that we had last year. And everything has been updated with the latest Windows 10 updates. It's offline, making sure that it has no access to any PCs that are currently on the network. And it's the same for Norton, Windows Defender, as well as SureSense. So if we have a look at Norton Security, the latest updates from Norton Security is active, but the one thing that I actually have to do is unzip that file and have to do a local scan. So we're letting Norton do its thing, and it's starting to scan those files. As we can see, total files scanned is now at 18. Let's move quickly over to Windows Defender. Again, I have to unzip those files before I'm allowed to scan. The beautiful thing with Windows Defender, it actually works a little bit quicker as well. So the beautiful thing with Windows Defender, it's already picked up that there was a backdoor malware, and that was before it scanned, and we're still doing a scan, or a local scan. And it's able to find 29 out of the 50 malicious files. 5 of them were just text files or executables. And Windows and Norton is able to fix 18 and needs to help with 4 of them. Let's scooch over to SureSense. And SureSense is always scanning, always protecting you, and it works in under 20 milliseconds. So even as I've just started to unzip this, this package, it's already scanning those threats. So as we can see in real time, file scanned is 33, and I'm already finding then there's 43 threats. Because this is always scanning and always making sure that everything is protected, SureSense is the only one to find all 50 malicious files. The beautiful thing with SureSense is that it only uses 1% of your CPU, needs to be updated only every 3 months, and is always scanning and always protecting. Works in under 20 milliseconds, and is actually an incredible piece of additional security that we're adding into our value proposition. We come to the home stretch, where I'm able to talk about 2 new features that we announced on the 25th. And this is our 4th generation of HP SureView. And the fantastic thing with SureView is that other OEMs are now starting to use an integrated privacy screen. This is fantastic for everyone out there, as it gives people more options. The unique benefit that we have with HP is that we're now in our 4th generation of integrated privacy screen. In the past, in our previous 3 generations, we've had black or white screens. These were both fantastic for both indoors or outdoor views. And as we go through every innovation, we need to make sure that it's better for the PC. We enhance security, but we want to make sure that it has little to no impact on your battery performance. And this is where we've really come with our 4th generation. For the first time, we're actually gone for a copper tint reflected privacy. That's now twice as effective as other OEMs using an integrated privacy screen. It functions fantastically in both light and dark environments, and is really a true innovation that we have with an integrated privacy screen. These are available exclusively on the EliteBook 800 and 1000 series, with options to go for our mobile workstations as well. In our ProBook range, we're still going to be using our fantastic SureView Gen 3, which has a black screen. But also, we have something brand new. This is called HP Shutter, and it's available exclusively on the EliteBook 1000 series. What you've seen, and we can see from the images here, is that we've actually changed our keyboard setup. So our power buttons is now back onto our keyboard, but we also have something very unique next to it. It's actually a camera kill switch. So it actually has a shutter built into the camera array. Now, you could say to me, Simon, how is this a value proposition? If I'm just pressing a button, can it be hacked? And the answer is no, because all of the processes go through our embedded security controller. It's cryptographically encoded. So every command that I'm giving it to open or close my camera array actually is coming from that embedded controller, making sure that it's secure every single time and it cannot be breached. This also allows us to have a thinner and lighter bezel when it comes to our 1000 series. In our EliteBook 800 and our ProBook series, we'll still have a manual slider built into the screen, but this is the first mechanical shutter array that we have within our systems. Finally, What we also announced on the 25th is that we are allowing users to download our HP SureClick Pro for free until September 30th. And this allows us to make sure that all of your emails are secure if they're being downloaded as an attachment, and making sure that anything that you're coming across, whether or not it's that browser view, is making sure that you are as secure as we physically can be for both HP and non-HP systems. As long as it's a Windows 10 device and it meets the criteria, you can have HP SureClick Pro for free until September 30th. For the info sheet and FAQ, please see your Servium account manager for more information. But thank you so much for spending the last 20 minutes with me. Steve, back to you.
That's great. Thank you very much, Simon. Some really good, innovative features there with the HP range, and also some of the new announcements from the early in the week just make it even more unique. So thank you very much, Simon. I'll open the floor now to questions, and let's put you on the spot, Simon. So a question from Ian about the features around HP SureClick. How often are they sort of updated and from sort of protected from new emerging attacks?
That's a great question. Now, the fantastic thing with SureClick is it's not running off a database. So in fact, it actually doesn't need to be updated at all. We do roll out increased updates when it comes from a system point of view. So we increase more protection, for example, against PowerPoint files. But it's actually in a virtual machine. So it takes a little bit longer to set up, as we need to make sure that the profiles are there. But from a general standpoint, you won't see any kind of change when it comes to updates on there at all. What we do have is that everything that we have in a secure view looks exactly the same in terms of user interface, if it's a Word or an Excel file. So it actually minimizes the amount of disruption. But as soon as you then remove that protection via a right click, then the protection is actually being removed. But from an update point of view, you won't see very many, if any at all.
Okay. Great, thanks for that. Question from Terry. If we run our own image and re-image every new laptop PC that comes through our doors, does this affect any of the original security protocols that HP have installed?
From a hardware point of view, no. There are a few that you would need to activate within Windows, for example, like SureClick. But with the manageability integration kit and via SCCM, you're able to manage these if it's a standard version of Windows or if it's a custom build. So our HP security portfolio is able to work on both of those.
Okay. Thanks, Simon. A question from Alistair. Are any of these features available on older equipment? And if so, which models?
Oh, that's a great question and a loaded question at the same time. You did warn me about putting me on the spot.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. So we've been doing security, especially within, say, Sure Start since 2014. So every single year there will be a generational leap. For each specific one, it's very hard to say without knowing the actual device. This is something that we can pick up offline, and I can answer that question properly and with certainty.
Okay, all right. So Alice, if you want to reach out to your account manager, then we'll get those questions, get that question answered in more detail, if that's okay, Simon. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Question from Neural. HP SureClick. Can it coexist with other AV products?
Yes, very much like SureSense. We have no conflicts when it comes to antivirus, because we want to make sure that everyone has the most amount of layers possible when it comes to levels of attack.
Okay. Another sort of semi-related to that, but from Jim, how do these embedded features complement any existing security features, including things like Windows 10, say Office 365, Microsoft 365? Are you still there, Simon? Oh, we seem to have lost Simon. Simon has gone. Okay. Well, don't know what's happened there. Technology has.
Sorry about that. I was.
Oh, you were muted, were you? Has HP launched something called Sure Mute, maybe?
Maybe.
So that last question was in relation to some of the embedded features and how do they sort of complement things like Windows 10, Office 365?
Okay, that's a great question. And what we want to do with all of our security features is work with our partners. So whether or not that's Windows or Intel and AMD. And the beautiful thing is that we want to make sure that we complement those as well. So for example, BitLocker or Password Manager or anything like that, then we want to make sure that we can have those as part of our value proposition. And even Edge, for example, has the ability to sandbox each of its browsers. But what we actually end up doing is recognizing those and building upon them to make sure that you can have the most secure versions of your PC possible.
Okay, great. Thanks for that, Simon. No longer I put you on the spot, so thanks for